Hi dear all, today I am sharing a video on diphtheria. Diphtheria is basically a bacterial infection which is caused by a gram-positive bacillus, that is Carine bacterium diphtheria. It is also known as Klebsiella bacillus. Now how it spreads? Basically the infected human, its discharges and secretions leads to the generation of the aerosols, and these droplets and aerosols lead to the infection in the another person. Incubation period is 2 to 5 days. So after 2 to 5 days, what will happen is, because this bacteria will get attached to the pharynx and will proliferate there, it will lead to the production of the exotoxin. Now this exotoxin, when released into the body, leads to the local effects as well as the systemic effects. So as soon as this exotoxin is produced, there will be manifestation in the form of the fever, malaise, headache, and the look will be toxic in the child. If we talk of the local lesions, depending on the site, it may be facial, it may be nasal, or it may be laryngeal. Also, it may lead to the systemic effects like affecting the heart, kidneys, adrenals, and other organs. Also, basically, the incidence of diphtheria has reduced due to the better immunization. It mainly affects the children between the age group of 1 to 5 years. Now, what happens is, uh, there will be local manifestation as well as a systemic manifestation. Now diagnosis, there has to be high clinical suspicion whenever we get a child with a diphtheria. Also we can take the swab from the oropharynx or larynx and lead to the Albert stain. When we do the Albert stain, it represents like a Chinese letter appearance. Also we can set it for the cultures, and the cultures are usually available after 8 hours. Now, if we talk of the local lesions due to the diphtheria, so why these local lesions are appearing? Because the toxin which is produced, that is the exotoxin, it leads to the necrosis of the epithelial cells and also lead to the liberation of the serous and fibrinous material, which leads to the formation of the grayish white membrane, which we call as pseudomembrane, or also we call it as dirty grayish white membrane. Because when you try to dislodge this membrane, it starts bleeding. So basically there is onset of the disease with the presentation as a fever, malaise, headache, and toxic look. Now depending on the local effect it is producing, whether it is facial type, laryngeal, tracheal type, nasal types. So whenever it, most common is a facial type or tonsillopharyngeal type. So this is the commonest presentation. So it will affect the tonsils. There will be redness and swelling. Also there will be, due to the necrosis of the epithelial cells and exudation, there will be grayish white membrane over the tonsils, which represents as a pseudomembrane. There will be sore throat and dysphagia. Now this pseudomembrane, since it is presenting as a membrane over the tonsils, so it has to be differentiated from the other uh, DDs like membranous tonsillitis or agranulocytosis or leukemia, or we say this herpetic tonsillitis and other diseases. Also, it may lead to the enlargement of the cervical node, so it will have a bull neck appearance. Now, if it is a laryngotracheal variety, there will be the membrane over the larynx. This pseudomembrane over the larynx will lead to the brassy cough. There will be stridor. Also, there will be respiratory distress, and also it may lead to the complete airway obstruction. Now, another variety is nasal. This nasal variety, it will present with the serosanguinous discharge from the nose. Also, there will be excoriation due to the discharges over the upper lips. Now, what else? It may also lead to the involvement of the conjunctiva, or it may also lead to the involvement of the skin, and there will be punched out lesion on the skin and conjunctiva. So, these are the local manifestation which we will get in the diphtheria, and the most common is the facial variety. And all this manifestation occurs because of the production of the exotoxin, and also one of the common feature is formation of the membrane, which is a pseudomembrane. Now, beside the local effects, it also leads to the systemic effects. Now, this systemic effects can be in the form of the myocarditis, which usually present in the second week of illness and usually presents with the congestive cardiac failure or arrhythmias, and may also lead to the sudden death. So, we have to check for the rhythm of the heart. Now, neurologic complications, it may present as a paracal palsy. It also presents in the second week, presents with the nasal twang and nasal regurgitation. It may present as ocular palsy, which usually presents in the third week of illness with the loss of accommodation, blurry vision, difficulty in reading, and all that. It may also present as a polyneuritis, which should be treated like Guillain-Barré syndrome, and usually presents in third to sixth week. Other complications like renal complications may also occur, which will present with the oliguria, proteinuria, also present with the affecting adrenal and other organs. Now, how we are going to manage the child with the diphtheria? So, since diphtheria can be a fatal disease, and there may be a certain deterioration of the child with the diphtheria, so you has to make a diagnosis clinically. And once you establish the diagnosis clinically that this is the diphtheria, so you should start treating with the antitoxin. You should not wait for the cultures and other reports to come. So antitoxin can be given IM or IV. It will neutralize the toxin. 1 ml contains 1,000 international unit. In mild to moderate doses, 10,000 to 30,000. In severe cases, it should be given 40,000 to 1 lakh. And before giving it, sensitivity test should be done, as anaphylaxis or serum sickness may be there. Also, we need to give the antibiotic. Now, what will happen when we will give the antibiotic like penicillin, erythromycin? They will what they will do is they will limit the proliferation of the bacteria, so will terminate the toxin production. So there will be less toxin production, also will hamper the spread to the other people. Also, what we need to do is we need to do the airway management, because in the laryngeal variety there may be compromise of the airway. In certain cases we may also need the tracheostomy. Also, we should avoid the exertion, so proper rest should be given to the patient, and a proper rhythm should be monitored of the heart and all that, and respective complications should be managed. So we can remember the management of the diphtheria with the AAAA, that is antitoxin, antibiotics, airway, and avoid exertion. Thank you.